Fantastic. So what are we, August 14? Yeah. Oh. So this is just a chance to move in and out. Lots of people on vacation, lots of people traveling. We'll try to do a little 30-minute segment. If you can only do 30 minutes, awesome. Jennifer Cole Phillips, if you can only manage to be on your good healing foot for 45 minutes, then enjoy the first 45 and then pull out when it's right. Otherwise, we will finish and do the little, I was on Instagram this week and at the middle of the day doing this tiny little Kriya that just draws all the energy up and up and up and out through the body. So we'll do the same, we'll prepare the physical body and then just turn it on and walk out into a fantastic Saturday. So you'll want to have 2 blocks and a strap and your blanket, and we'll start on the back, coming to lie down. Oh, Lori has a job. Awesome. Good morning, good morning. You're just drawing your knees into your chest. Let yourself rock a little bit side to side. Put your feet down wide so that you feel the outer edge of your feet, finding the outer edge of your mat. Widen your arms. Turn your thumbs to point forward towards your heels and put your fingertips into the floor. And then really lightly drum from the pinky towards the first finger. So you keep your thumb on the floor and this little drumming, and you can start to really reach into the fingertips. You've lifted your wrists. You're on your fingertips. And that lift of the wrists might lift the low back a little. You're opening through the chest, through the sternum, through the lungs. Let your knees now drop to the left. Ha. And then drop to the right. And we're just going to move side to side right here. Ha. And it's as though you're starting to find the lining of your chest, the lining of your abdomen. Letting your knees move side to side. So your fingertips are on the floor, your wrists are floating, your palms are floating, your knees are moving side to side. Feel the weight of your legs dropping into your hips. Feel the weight of your hips rolling through the muscles of the sides of your hips and your glutes. And as you move your knees side to side, maybe you can start to get your inner knee down towards the center line a little bit more. Just go for 3. Get a little longer from your navel to your pubic bone. 2. Dropping both knees to the left. Pause. Put your left ankle over your right knee. Send your right hip forward. Take your hands overhead. And the left hand holds the right wrist just for 3. Ha. Play a little, scoot a little, explore a little, 2. So that you're getting a little longer from the right ribs to the right hip to the right knee. And into the center, arms wide, knees side to side 3 times. And then the left knee comes down into the center. The right knee opens wide. The right ankle over the left knee. Stay. Right hand overhead to hold the left wrist. Stay. And now play, sending your left hip a little forward, a little back. Pressing your left knee into your ankle into your knee. Find a little more length. So that when you come back into the center, feet flat, toes point forward, feet on the mat. Square your hips and pelvis into the middle, hands on thighs, press away. And notice that as you make space between the navel and the hips and the knees, there's more space for your breathing. And as there's more space for your breathing, there's more space in your thoughts. The mind is less constrained. And just bring your right knee into your chest, interlace your fingers, keep it close, left leg goes long. Bring your left heel high and then down. Inhaling up and exhaling down. So it's your pace. You're moving as quickly or as slowly as you choose. And you're flexing both feet, spreading the toes, reaching into the left heel. And the more that you straighten and stabilize the left leg, the more you'll stabilize the navel. Good. Keep hold of the right shin with your left hand. Take your right hand overhead. And as you lift your left heel, lift your right hand, your head, tap the toes. Inhale, open. And exhale, tap the toes. Good. For 4. For 3. So this is a place to stay if you choose, or you'll bend your right elbow to meet your left knee. So bringing the elbow to the knee is a little more intense. You're feeling it across from the right shoulder, across the back to the left hip. You're feeling it across the front of the body. One more. And now left heel long, right hand long, stay. Shake your right knee side to side with your left hand. And let it move a little further away from you, a little side to side, good. And then bring the left shin in, interlace your fingers there, keep it, and right leg long. Shake out your left ankle, your left foot, flex both feet and lift your right heel and bring it down. Inhaling up and exhaling down. That we're freeing any stagnation in the legs. Any stagnation in the legs, any holding, any old work. As we've been out walking or biking or swimming, the activity of the summer, let that through. What was it? Sorry. Good. Right hand down, left hand overhead. And now tap your toes, lift your head, shoulders start to open through the upper back, through the left shoulder. So you're inhaling, opening, and you're exhaling, closing, keeping the back of the knee nice and broad. Then work there if you choose, or elbow to knee. And you're curling in as though you would squeeze out a sponge and then open it. For 3. For 2, and for 1, putting both feet flat, hands on thighs, now press away, and decompress a little differently. Starting to feel the openings, the alignments, the redirecting. As you turn over onto hands and knees, put a blanket underneath your knees and your shins. Put your blocks up at the top. And just start with your knees and shins there. And we'll move with tucked toes to lift your hips to find dog. And then let your hips move. Walk your dog. Wag your tail. Drop your head. Find the space, the length you just made in the navel. Let that start to expand into the chest. And we'll start to move on the breath. Just dropping your knees, inhaling, hands and knees. Exhaling to child, folding out. Inhale, rising. And exhale to dog. To hands, knees. And to dog. And hands, knees, and into child. So follow that flow of folding and unfolding, listening to your hips, to your chest, to your shoulders. And the next time you are on hands and knees, we will pause and meet there, bringing your right hand high, opening a little forward, a little back. Good. Take your right hand and rest it on top of your left. Take your hips back towards child, folding. And then draw your hands apart. Here's the breath in and the breath out, folding back. 3. As you unfold, roll the right rib open, and as you fold down, roll the right rib down. One more like that. Good. Now take your right hand behind your left wrist. Revolve. Super simple. Same momentum. Inhale back up. And back down. 2. One more time, all the way up. And all the way down, shoulder to the floor. Now pause. The back of your right hand is on the floor. The right side of your head is on the floor. A little forward, a little back. Adjust yourself so you're stable. Really drop your head more fully. Take your left fingertips overhead. So the palm floats, the wrist floats. Look under the left armpit. Lift the left knee. On your inhale, fill your chest. And on your exhale, empty your navel. Good. The left knee comes down. The right hand comes down. And we return to dog, to knees, to child, and find that flow. And just start to feel the breath smoothing out, the body adjusting. And as we return to hands and knees, you'll take your left hand high and you'll bring your left palm to your right hand, sitting back. So roll your left ribs down when you fold. Now roll your left ribs open as you rise. And you take your time. So if we were going to open your hips, for example, you can start to access your hips by accessing all the way up into the sides of your ribs. One more. All the way up. Now take the back of your left hand behind your right wrist. Drop your head and keep the flow of breath to rise up and to roll down. One more. Looking up to your left hand. As you thread through, look up over the right shoulder and turn all the way to drop your head. A little forward, a little back will land you with some space around the left shoulder. Drop your head again. Right fingertips overhead. Look under the right armpit. Maybe you stay there or extend your right leg, ball the foot down. Now breath expands the chest on the inhale. Navel to spine on the exhale. Finding a little more space for the breath under that left shoulder blade. And the right knee comes down. And the hands walk back. Down dog. And let your hips sway. And feel through the sides from your shoulder to your hip, from your chin, side to side. Drop the head. Step your right foot up, put your left knee down, and sweep your hands up high. And just drop your hands as you shift your weight back, coming in and out. Back toes are tucked under. That's your stability. There's no hurry. You're starting to find some length in the front body. Up and out of the hips. And come up. Stay. Good. Hands down. Step your left foot up. Sit down, sweep wide, thumbs up, stand up, palms together. Tuck your chin and bring your elbows in. And straighten your arms, keep your hands together. Drop your thumbs, elbows in. And do that 2 more times. As you lift your hands, lift your gaze. Can you keep your palms together? Feeling it all the way through the front and back body. Bend your knees, sweep wide, left foot steps back. 2 hands high, inhaling up. And 2 hands down, downward facing dog. Left foot will step up and the right knee will come down. And then you sweep up and down. And you let it in and out, and you let your hips forward and back. And you're moving from your feet. And you're moving through the breath, opening the arms overhead more easily. Pause. And hands down, stepping up. Hands wide, sitting down, rising tall. Palms together. Now sweep wide, fold down. We're just folding and unfolding 3 times. Hands up the backs of your legs, sweeping up and open. Palms together, looking up. Folding down the middle. Knees are soft, head is heavy. Unfold again, rise up. Good, look to your thumbs. Knees are soft, sweep wide. Right foot will step back. Right knee down, hands up, look to your thumbs. And then down. Step back, down dog. Arms are long, head heavy. Right foot, left knee. Sweep up, look to your thumbs. And down, tuck your chin, step your left foot up, sit down, sweep wide, stand tall, look up. And fold down, knees are soft. Right foot steps back. Left foot steps back, left knee down, hands up. And down. Step back, down, dog. And the left foot and the right knee. And sweep up. And down. Good. Unfold. Right hand holds your left wrist, go up and go right. Hips go left. And wrap your right ribs forward. Good. Fold down the middle, knees soft. Pause at the bottom for a breath. Get a little longer, hips a little higher, legs long. Open the back of your neck. As you have a little more breath in the chest, inhale, spread the ribs, and the ribs spread the spine, and the exhale, navel to spine. And you unfold, and the left hand holds your right wrist, and you go up and over to the left. And you wrap your left ribs forward. So that from your right mid-rib all the way through the right waist, through the front and the side of your hip, get a little length. And then sweep wide and fold down. Stepping back, downward facing dog. Good. Take your right heel high. Bend both knees, bend both elbows. As you wrap your elbows in, press your arms out long, press your legs out long. Do it again. Bend your elbows, bend your knees, wrap your elbows in, press your arms away, straighten your legs, reach all the way out. Open the right hip, open the right pelvis. Step your right foot outside of your right hand, put your left knee to the floor. Put your left hand on a block and put your right hand to your right mid-thigh. And press wide. It's like there's someone trapped inside of you, Lord. Good. Now imagine there's a hook on the front of your pubic bone and you're drawing your hips forward, and now take your right hand back and up and open. If you need, your hips a little forward, a little back, a little forward, a little back. Good. And the right hand just sweeps back and down, stepping back, downward facing. And the left heel rises high. And you bend your elbows and you bend your knees and you wrap your elbows in. Press arms, then press legs. Bend your elbows, bend your knees, wrap your elbows in, extend your arms, extend your legs. Out the jaw, out the face, out the head, left foot steps up. Turn your left toes out. Bring your right hand onto a block beside you. And left hand onto your mid-thigh, press away. A little forward and back. You're drawing the pelvis forward. And out of the pelvis, the navel can rise. And out of the heart, the chest broadens. Sweep your left hand back and up and open. And find a back bend. Left knee wide, hips forward, chest broad. Bit of a back bend. Ha. And then setting down, downward facing dog. Step back. Arms long, knees long. A little more space through the sides of your ribs, sides of your shoulders. Good. Walk both feet to the left, cross your left in front of your right, put your knees down to the floor. So the left is in front of the right. And on your exhale, fold your way back. Breathing out. Inhale, back up, hands and knees. Left knee in front of the right knee, feet are wide. Fold your way back, inner thighs softening. One more. So the space and the length you made through the shoulders and the chest, keep that nice and long. And now we can settle, opening the low back, the outer hips stay. Three. Softening your inner thighs, your inner knees, all the way to the tips of your toes. To rise up. So you have tuck toes, down dog, press back. Take your left foot out wide to the left and sweep it behind you and put it down behind the right. Take your right foot, sweep it out to the right, circle it behind your left foot. So the left leg goes wide to the left, sweeps wide and high behind you, and fits behind the right. The right foot sweeps wide, flex your foot, sweep your foot, bigger, 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 circle, one more big circle each side. Left foot goes wide, circle behind the right. Ha! Right foot flexed, right heel wide and behind. Good, left leg wide, up, back, behind you. Good, good, good. Set the left behind the right, bring your knees to the floor. Feet wide. And fold back. Aha! Stephanie wanted some hip release. Rise up. Wag your tail. Fold. So their only work here is the willingness to let whatever you're holding, hips side to side, loosen it up, and then take your time and fold back and stay. So the work is a softening. The breath widens the chest and the navel to the spine. On the exhale, softening the hips. And the work is in the breath. Use the breath to expand the space inside this bind, this fold. Inner thighs softening, inner knees opening all the way till the tips of your toes can move. And then rising up. Tuck of the toes. Uncross, uncross, and wag your tail. Good. Good, good, good. So looking at your feet, turn your right toes out and put your right heel down. So your right heel's at the center line. And now make a circle with your right hip. And that circle with your right hip is helping you to find there's a circle of connection with your heel. You're finding the back of your heel, the inner, the top of the heel, the outer heel. And you're finding the outer right foot to the floor. Now step your left foot up to your thumb without losing that right heel. Right. It's just stepping up to a lunge. Good. But we've made an anchor. So sweep to warrior two. And that connection from hip to heel changes. So bring your left hand across your belly. Bring your right hand over the top. and sweep wide, straighten up. Now reverse that, right hand across your belly, left hand across the back, and straighten out. So left hand across the belly, right hand over the top, a little further, a little more reach, unfolding. Good. Bend your left knee, reach backwards. One more each direction, opening wide. Bend your left knee and cross. Good. Arms wide. Now right hand open, left hand back, straighten your left hand. Bring your left hand down to your left shin. Keep your right hand where it is. Use your right hand to lift yourself back up, the left hand up. Now open, ha. All the way down, hand to shin, looking over your shoulder. Good. Use your fingertips, reach back, one more just like that. Bring your left hand to your shin or to a block. And the right hand comes over the top. Good, good, good. And the right hand sweeps back to the hip. Now as you fold over the top, look down. As you reach your right hand over the front, look up. Reaching over to your hip, looking down. And reaching over the top, stay. Ha. Drip your fingertips right out of your wrist. A little bow into the right ribs. Send your right heel back. Ha. Turn your chin from shoulder to shoulder. And then bring both fingertips inside the left foot. Bring your right knee down and pause. Top of the back foot comes down, pressing the top of the foot down. You're going to open the right hip forward. Draw your shoulder blades towards your spine. If you need to, bring your block inside and hands on block. Get a little bit higher. Or bring your elbows to the block and hug your left knee in. Your hips are coming forward. Your heart is coming through. And the top of your right foot presses down. It may press so much that you lift the right knee to hover off the floor. And as it hovers off the floor, you square your hips, left, back, right, forward. And you reach into the tips of your toes. And the right knee comes down. And you set the block aside and you find your downward facing dog. Just step back. Now hips sway side to side. Drop your head, lengthen. Right hand, right hip, right heel. Feel the breath through the right side body. Feel the change you've made. Turn your left heel to center. Turn your left toes out and find a circle in your left hip. Yeah. So bend your right knee a little bit more, and that will give you a little more support, a little more freedom. So you're circling to find the circle of your left heel. And you're circling to find the action of your abs right here. And then keeping the circle of the left heel on the floor, step your right foot up to a lunge. You can put, so if you know your triangle wants a block, put it outside the little toe side and set up for your warrior two. Same thing, we're going to take our right hand across the front of the belly, the left hand over the top, and as you come out, straightening up to inhale. Now the left hand across the belly and the right hand back, exhaling, bend your knee, reaching, good, inhale, widen, and then exhale, reach, front, inhale, open, exhale, reach back, good, inhale, open. Exhale, reach a little further. Navel to spine, left heel to the floor, open wide. And then hand across the front. Reaching back, open wide. One more each direction. So reaching the top hand over the top. And then opening wide. And now left hand turns open, right hand to reach back. Straighten your right leg. Keep the left hand back, right hand down. Navel to spine, and then right hand up. And what you're doing with these deep steady movement, right hand down, is you're building a strength that keeps the spine steady and strong, right hand down. You're building a stability. Hand to the block or the shin, left hand overhead. Yes, look down as your left hand comes back to the hip. Look up as your left hand comes over the top. Imagine you're smoothing all the connective tissue. One more. Along the left side of the body, from the heel to the hip and the hip to the hand. Drop your fingertips out of your left wrist, bow into the left side ribs, and reach from the left hip to the center of your left heel. And fill it with breath. And then left hand down, left knee down. The block can come under your hands. So the chest is forward, the hips come forward, the top of the back foot down, point your toes back. Working here, or bringing your elbows to the block. Wherever you go, hug your right knee in. And allow your ribs to just drop inside your right thigh. So there's an allowing that's happening in the right hip. There's a weight, and as you allow the hips to drop, use your elbows to draw the pelvis forward and maybe plug the top of the left foot down. Lift your left knee an inch. And that'll bring your left hip forward, your hips forward, your gaze forward, your chest open. Set it down, hands down, and shift back down dog, aware of your left hand, left hip, left heel. Wag of the tail, wag of the tail. Shake out your head. Then step your right foot up inside your right thumb. And take your block ahead of you, a step, so it's about a block length ahead, and then it's a block width to the right, so that the block is outside of the line of your right little toe. Good, and then warrior two, put your back heel down, sweep yourself up and open, and that will be our block. As we come into half moon, as we come into a balance, put your left hand to your hip, use everything you've made, so that stability of folding and unfolding, use it now. Right hand down to the block, see it, lift off, land. And just take this first moment to find the right fingertips are under your right shoulder. Your right hip is over your right heel. You can have a bend in your standing leg. There's your base. So come back to warrior two. Put your foot to the floor. Raise your right hand. That you can come in and out with no problem. Look to the block, hand down, rise up, float, stay. That's it. Build your balance. Press into the left heel. And come out, foot to the floor, hand high. So you've made this amazing strength to come in and out. Hand down, full pose, lift off. Press your right heel, your left heel, and now your left hand. The stability you built allows you greater balance. Good, wrap your outer hips back. Reach your left fingertips to open from the pelvis to the navel, from the navel to the heart, from the heart to the head, and then simply turn the chin so that you are looking directly along the line of the left side of the mat. Lift your left heel an inch, reach your left hand overhead if you choose, bow into the fingertips. Good, left hand high, look down, left foot to the floor. Good. Pivot your toes to face the left side of your mat. Bend your knees and fold over. Fingertips to the floor, wag your tail. Bend one knee, then bend the other. Bend one knee, then bend the other. And as you find center, lift both hips high. Walk your fingertips back. Wrap your elbows in, tuck your chin, and reach the crown of your head toward the floor as you lift your hips even higher. That's it. So Stephanie, see if you can reach the arches of your feet away from the floor. Yeah. And keep the base of your big toe down and the arch of your foot up. Now your hips come up. The backs of your hips are being lifted to the sky. That's it. Walk your hands back, Lori. Yeah. Perfect. Now outer feet, length of the toes. Put a big bend in your knees. Walk your fingertips forward. Drop your seat. And turn to the front of the mat. Step back, down dog. Walk your dog. Drop your head. So when we did the cross-legged dog and cross-legged child, we flushed out the inner thigh. Now we're at the outer thigh. Okay. Step your left foot up and place the block ahead a block length and to the side a width length, so that the line of your block is outside the line of your little toe. Warrior two. And you're open. So your right hand to your hip, your left hand high. And you're looking down and you're coming hand to block, right heel high. Set up your block so that your hand is beneath your shoulder. Square off your left toe because the toes are going to want to turn in. Find the left hand and the left heel. And that's all right now. The rest is just hanging out. There's your base, right foot to the floor. Come out. And as you come out, you're building strength. You're building the ability to fall and catch yourself. So left knee bent, hands down. Second time, rise up. Letting it become more familiar each time. Press now into the left heel, left hand, right heel. Press into the lifted heel and feel the pelvis change. Bend the left knee, foot to the floor, rising up. Go back. Go back, go back. Now take that with you. Last time, hand down. Float your right heel high, lifting off, right hand high. So stand in your heels. You've already built the base of the pose, you've built the balance. 3, soften the shoulders and the face. 2, and down. Bend the front knee, toes to the floor, pivot to the right. Hands stay at your hips. Good. Knees bend, tail back, hinge, and fold, and fold. Press down through the toes, drop your head, lift your heels. Toes turn in slightly. So with your hands on your hips, press your hips away. And this pressing of the hips away creates traction in your spine. Give it a tiny wag of the tail. Feeling one inner thigh and then the other as you shift your hips back and back. The hips going up and the head going down. Good. Putting a big bend in your knees. Keep your hands at your hips. Sitting down to rise tall. Step up to the top of the mat. Turn your palms forward. And let it through. Hands on hips. Use your thumbs on the back to drop your tailbone down towards the floor. Dropping that opens the front from the front surface of your ribs staying in down the front of your thigh. So when I'm arched, I'm actually shortening because of this fold, and I'm taking that out. Thigh bones go back. And now I have length through the psoas, the connection from my mid-back across the front of my pelvis to my thighs. This is what we lose when we're driving our car or sitting at our desk. So we want to keep this open even as we open the chest. Add your strap. And the strap goes behind you wide enough to come up and over your shoulders. Yeah. So feeling the action of your hips, that you, if you lose it, use your hands. That you can come up and over the chest, right? Keep dropping your tail into the centers of your heels that we just made. So the center of your heel held you in your balance. That's it. There we go. Yeah, good, good, good. Now keeping that, when your hands are over the top, put a little bend in your knees. Good, and sweep to the left and across the front and over the top. So all the space you've made through the legs, begin to translate that up and through the body. Good, good, good. One more. And then you simply reverse your direction, sweeping to the right, coming across the body. Now, can you find the tail down? Can you truly unfold across the pelvis when your hands are high? We can have a temptation of tipping the tail back. Good. Now you're going to take the hands back behind you, roll that strap so that it shortens and the shoulder blades draw together. Lift and open the shoulders and then draw your hands back so that you can sit down, tail back, chest is broad. Lift your hips, fold over the thighs, drop your hands overhead to open the front of the chest, right up to the collarbones. And then hands back down to the seat, lift your heart, your throat to stand. So you're lifting the chest through the arms, sit down, hands back, fold over. Put a bigger bend in your knees, sit down more deeply to lift your heart more fully, rising up. Sit down more deeply to lift your hips, to lift your hands, to open the chest. Last one, sit down, hips high. Good. Standing tall. And as you drop your knuckles, drop your heels. As you drop your heels, draw your ribs back and keep opening this great plane. There's a temptation really to sit in our low back. So drop your tail. Wagging across the front. Interlacing your fingers, your thumbs point up. And you just loosen the elbows. You loosen the jaw. You can open your mouth and breathe in and out the mouth, the elbows, the base of the skull. Bringing your hands a little higher up the back. So you're freeing the front and the back of the body. Turn your chin. I want you to wag your tail. Let all of this begin to shake loose so that you can put the thumbs to point towards each other and the heels of your hands towards the hips. So wrapping your elbows back, sitting your hips forward, standing your heels and draw your ribs back. Broaden your collarbones. So if you were in fish, the backs of your upper arms would be on the floor. So the belly button is opening like a mouth, opening wide. Hips come forward, heels go down. Now lift your chin, elbows in, heels go down, hips up, heart up, chest open. Now open and close your mouth. And feel the little extra stretch to the jaw. You can even make the shape in your mouth. Waju, waju, waju. And as you come upright, pause, balancing your head over your belly, over your heels. Turn your palms up. Shake it out. We're just going to build a simple tree by bringing your right knee to your chest without falling in the fold. Good. Stand in your left heel. Feel the opening you've made through the front left thigh. Take your left hand high. And just reach and explore because it's yours. There's a little more space in the hip joint. And set it all down. So that you're taller on the left. And the left knee to chest. Standing in the right leg. Find the full center, that circle of your right heel goes down. The front of the right thigh is open, the chest is broad, the right hand high. And now there's breath. And now you can wriggle into your right fingers. You can explore. and setting down, all the more space, all the more space. Tree brings your knee up and the right foot to the left inner thigh. Your right hand to your right thigh, take it back. Your left hand to your left rib, take it back. So you're peeling the front surface wider. From there, stand in your heel. And then the left hand can come high. Peeling the left ribs back, peeling the right knee back. You've got your hands opposite, Stephanie. That makes it really hard. Blame it on the gear. Up and out of the left heel, up and out into the fingers. Now go towards your right knee. Reach. Yeah. Bow the left side. Take the right knee back, stand in the left heel. And upright and set down. Notice left side, notice right. Nice job. Here we go. So balancing is an act of quieting the mind. You've built everything you need. Find the circle of your heel. Use it all. Find the circle of the heel in your thigh and seal it into your thigh. Bring your thigh to meet your heel. Left hand to thigh, right hand to rib. And peel them open. So it's as though you're coming into the front surface of your body. Right hand high. Yeah. Imagine your front toes, your right toes are very long. And your right fingers are very long. And from your toes to your fingers, bow to the left. 2. So that you come upright. And you set it down and you notice. And it's really about the quiet that you're making. Rest in the centers of your heels. Float your hips over your heels and your head over your hips. That quiet is what we're looking for. The ease in your body. Knees soft, fold down. Step back, down dog.
Softening your face, smoothing your breathing, soften your knees, pull your heels over the balls of your feet, get a little bouncy in your legs, wrap your outer arms back, let your head be heavy, press from your outer shoulders down into the base of your thumbs, get your little bit of a back bend in the chest, a little bit of a length through the backs of the hips. You can turn your head, you can fidget. And from here, fold your blanket, set it aside, walk your feet to your hands, and take your blocks with you as you sit down and come to lie on your back. Hands on blocks, feet flat, paws neutral. And just receive the change in your energy right here. How there's a shift in your circulation. Letting your feet be even on the floor, letting your hips be even on the floor, letting your shoulders be even on the floor. You may have a little tremble, and the little tremble in the legs or in the belly is a release of the nervous system that's been holding stress. So whenever you can find that little tremble, honor it. The way you see animals, if they go through distress, they stop and they shake. And then when the shaking passes, they run off and they're fine. Let it through. Standing in your heels, press down into the heels, peel your hips up. Take your blocks and put them side by side beneath your sacrum, right under the backs of your hips and your low back. So they may be on their lowest setting, they may be on their side, or you may stand them up to be on their tail. But they're together, They're firm, and when you rest your weight there, the blocks stand with ease. Tuck a shoulder under, tuck another, turn your palms open. If you choose, you can hold the outer edge of your mat, and imagine you're pulling the mat away from your shoulders, and this makes length through the back of your neck. And as your inner thighs lightly fall towards each other, fall into the ball of your big toe. Fall into the inner heel. And as you hold the mat away from your shoulders and you fall into the inner heel, you'll feel a length from your navel to your pubis. The inhale fills the chest, the exhale navel to spine. Just finding a deep release of this crease of the hips. If you know you already have space in this supported bridge, one option is to walk your right foot back. Hold the right foot with your right hand. Tuck the toes so they point back towards you. And walk the top of your right foot toward the floor and your right knee points forward. You just get a little bit more of a bend and opening through the top of the foot and opening through the top of the thigh. 3 breaths. And then change sides. That's it. Flip your toes under. So your toes point to your shoulder. Yeah. It's a great way to begin to open the top of your foot, which we don't do at all. Otherwise, it's a great place to pause. Just 2 more breaths wherever you are. The weight is in the base of your big toe. The inner thighs are falling in. The shoulders are dropping down. Good. Unfold the foot. Press your feet down to lift your hips to remove the blocks. And the way you are, hands rest on blocks. Hips are even, shoulders even, spine is even. We balance it by bringing your knees to your chest, hands on shins. Here's the breath out. Press your heels to the ceiling. Here's the breath in. Hands overhead. So exhale, hands to shins. Just widen the knees, bring them in. And then heels high, hands overhead, reaching out. 2 more. All the length you can find. We finish with the heels high and the hands overhead. Stay. Widen your arms. Drop your heels about 30 degrees to the right. You're resting on your right hip, reaching into both feet evenly. Your left hip is off the floor. Breath into the chest, breath out of the navel for 3. Hug your shins together for 2. Now you may really find that sweet tremble. Hello. Good. Navel to spine. Bring it to center. Knees to chest, hands to shins. There's breath out. We're stabilizing the calm. Heels high, hands overhead. Inhale. Hands to shin. Breathe out, rinse out. Heels high, arms wide. And the hips drop to the left. The feet drop to the left. You're on your left outer hip. You're hugging your feet together, your shins together, your navel to spine. Inhale is the chest. Exhale, navel to spine. So we're building a charge, but we're stabilizing our response so that our nervous system can both handle more intensity, but we can also respond quietly and simply. Good. Center, knees to chest, you roll all the way up over, find your down dog. Steady. Notice the strength of your legs, the stability, navel to spine. The quiet you're making, the certainty that we want to finish with. Bring the blanket underneath your knees and your shins. And as you come, you'll bring your knees down and you'll set your blocks back behind you. Toes are tucked under. So the block is just inside between the edge of your foot and the edge of your mat. Hands up. Tuck your chin, folding down. Hands behind your back. Good. Inhale, reaching up and wide. And folding down. Ha. As you reach up this time, bring your palms to your thumbs to your heart. And fold. And then again, reaching up high overhead, hips unfolding. And down. And thumbs to the heart. Keep the left thumb there. Bring your right hand to the block. And reach your left hand overhead. Send your left hip forward. Square the hips. Eventually the back of the head dropping back. Make sure the left hand fingertips can move. And then you bring the left thumb to the heart, reaching center. Fold down, hands to the low back. Yep, rise up. Palms together. Good, keep your right hand. Bring your left hand down to the block. Reach your right hand straight back. Now where are you holding? In some sort of action of survival. Instead, let your knees be heavy and supported. Let your hand be heavy on the block and supported, chest broad. Where can you fall open rather than force survival? Move your right fingertips. Turn your chin if the neck gets blocked. Bring your right thumb to your heart. Put your hands to the floor and find your downward facing dog. Set your blocks aside. Drop your head and just notice from the navel to the feet a difference. Knees down, knees together, feet together. And bring your hips back and just fold your belly over your thighs. Walk your fingertips forward. Letting your head fall. This is a great means of restoring the length of your low back by using the size of our thighs and our bellies to spread the low back wide. A little shimmy, a little side to side, a little wag of the tail. And as you return to hands and knees, again, you're going to fold the blanket aside and walk your feet to your hands and sit down. So your seat to the floor, a block behind you on its belly, a block behind you on its side. So that as you roll back, the block beneath you catches your chest. The second block catches the back of your head. The arms go wide out and the shoulders are free in the space between. You can make any adjustment if you want to go higher or lower. If you'd like to set the back of your head lower, just set the second block on its belly. And begin to bring your breath higher into your ribs, widening like a yawn or a sigh. And you begin to smooth your breathing. Eyes are closed, resting in this support. Begin to explore if you can add just an extra sip Like you were smelling a flower right at the end of your breath. Can you fill the lungs? There's an area of your lungs that comes all the way up higher than your collarbones. And if you fill that space, you'll feel a lengthening all the way from your belly button. Smoothing your inhale, perhaps in for 4 or in for 6, and then pause for 2 and out for 4 or out for 6. So in that little pause, you're holding the breath and the body's adjusting around it. You're feeling the breath sweep into the lungs, making space in the thoracic cavity, even reaching into the fingertips on that little hold. And on the exhale, the hips are heavy, the elbows are heavy, the head is heavy, and you are completely empty, weighty, stable. And on the inhale, there's a space, there's a levity, there's an inquiry, there's a what if. All the uncertainty becomes possibility, and then we breathe out and we land in ourselves. We land in certainty. We find this sweet circle with a pause at the inhale, full of space, full of light, and then we exhale, landing empty of breath and full of our simple, finite selves, our body, the weight of our bones. We trust that sensation. Just noticing anywhere in your body where you grip or you hold the right shoulder, the left, the back of the chest, the face, the hips, the low back. Big circular breath with no force. We come out by walking the elbows in, standing the elbows down into the ground. Tuck your chin. Take the block from behind you and the block from beneath you. Either side, knees bent, feet flat, hands on blocks. Neutral. Same thing on the inhalation. Feel that there's a quality of expanse. In the expanse is uncertainty, is the unknown. In the exhale, we release the unknown and we return to ourselves. There is uncertainty just now in our worlds. And so we can land in ourselves, in our physical, in the tap of our feet on the floor, in the weight of our head on the mat. And there's something to really trusting this bodily moment. I'm right here. I'm still here. It's okay. We're stable. Stand in your heels, take your blocks, lift your hips, and you're going to put the blocks side by side on their belly, their lowest setting. Under the low back, bring your knees to your chest. Hands can hold the outer thighs or outer hips, heels high. Flex your feet, knees can be soft, a little arch in the low back. Knees are soft. Work here or hands overhead. We'll call your energy a little higher. We have a lower setting to the mind. It is a dailiness. Making sure there's food in the refrigerator, making sure that we get things done on time. If that's difficult for you to access, keep your hands down, elbows to the floor, hands on hips or thighs. There's a higher level to the mind, which is exercised by awe and wonder, a quality of connection, a quality of purpose and exhilaration, aspiration, inquiry. To find that, the hands are overhead, reaching. You're inviting all the grounding energy of your legs. You're giving it trust. Let it drain out of your body. Let it rise to the heart. Let it reach out through the hands. You are changing your circumstance, rearranging your settings. And with a smile on your face, you just call up a little bit more. Yes, I'm willing. I'm ready. Here we go. Still in the embodied sense of yourself, but a little higher. Reach into the heels, spread your toes, spread your fingers, call it up, call it up. And bend your elbows and bring them down and bring your heels down to the floor. Lift your hips, release the blocks, and find neutral, the place between certainty and uncertainty. That you're both. And this is when our practical life gets really good, when our day-to-day schedule is full of wonder and awe. If you're done, be done. Lie on your back. I'll bring us up and work through the seat just a little bit, and then I'll activate all of this, clearing it, lighting up with a simple kriya. So if you choose, you may lie back, resting fully, find your shavasana. Your spine is totally prepared for a really beautiful rest, or knees to chest, rolling up. And as you come up, add your blanket so that you've got a little bit of a lift for your hips. You're going to bring the soles of your feet to touch into cobbler. And I can't speak for you, but I can say that I feel like giddy. It's fantastic to have my chest open, to have my mouth corners rise on their own. I am not waiting for a good mood. I am designing the mood that I really enjoy. Good. Right hand beside you. Left hand, the heel of your hand to the middle of your thigh. Press down, press away. You're taking the bone of your thigh and you're separating it away from your pelvis. And you're creating space and length in the left hip. Which translates all the way up. Laura, notice your jaw. So without tucking your chin. Now instead of dropping your head, drop your ribs. Your right ribs drop to the right. Yeah. Oh, there you go. So move as you need to, and you're holding the left thigh away from you. You're dropping your right ribs, and it's making this traction. So our whole body sits in our hips all day long. Now let's make a little space in there. Through the shoulder, through the back, move the jaw, move the face. Put your right foot flat. Get a little more space. And you'll just bring your left heel in and drop your right knee over. So both feet are to the right. Right? My left hip is on the blanket. My right hip is not. My right hand goes to my left knee. And my left hand goes back. And I'm going to take a block just so that I don't collapse the left side. And I turn. So if I turn and you can see me, my left hip is on the blanket
I have a block behind me, and my right hand on my left knee. Now, as I turn, my right hip comes up, right? Comes off. And then I'm going to drop my right hip back and down. So the turn your navel left. Use your right hip coming forward. There it is. Keep the left ribs and drop the right hip back. You're opening the pelvis. And then you're lifting up and you're turning a little more through the ribs, through the chin. Keep that. Drop your right hip back and down, 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 down to the floor as you can. One more. Lift your hip. Turn it to the left. Keep everything going that direction. Now drop your right hip back and down. So dropping your hip is actually creating more and more and more of a twist right at the base of your spine. As you turn back to the front, put your left shin in front of your right. Good. And take your right hand across again. Now the turn is in the mid-ribs, is in the chest. So take your block and stand it on its tail a little higher. Turning, put it down where your arm is open, your chest is open. Good. Now just turn your chin from the front shoulder to the back shoulder. And rather than the navel, think about the rib cage. Drop your right hip. Keep your hips square. And move your chin to move the mid-spine. Good. One more. To neutral. Right leg straightens, left knee bends. So right hand comes around, and now we're turning the very top. Press into your right heel, and again, just turn the chin. And see if you can feel as you stand in your left foot, you lift your heart. So there's no rounding. You can even lift your chin up and over, getting up under the jaw. So we're really turning right to the top of the head. Stand in your right heel like your tree. Now straighten your left leg and bend your right heel for Janu Shirshasana. So the right heel comes in and my whole system is a little turn to the left, which is perfect. Fingertips on either side. Fold down. See, my navel is turned to the left. Inhale, float up. 3. Exhale, float down. Turn your navel left. Good. Rise up. Walk your right hand a little further forward and fold down. Keep your left hand where it is. Reach your right hand further forward and turn your navel left and stay. Standing in the centers of both heels, folding. Excellent. Excellent. Sit up tall. Soles of your feet to touch. Is the tongue out a good thing? Okay. Yes. I'll try this. So this time loosen it a little bit. All of you. Notice left, notice right. And put your right hand in the middle of your right thigh. Press away. Left hand beside you, getting heavy in the left rib, so that you're drawing your body, being this is my body and these are my limbs. I'm making space because all day long I sit the weight of myself in the hip socket. And here I'm just giving it a little space. And what's crazy is when you decompress that space, it's reflected in your thinking. And everything about how we're moving is changing how we think. So that our core belief is that there is space here for us. When we feel compressed, we feel hurried. When we feel hurried, we feel a quality of shortage. It's just not going to happen. It's not going to work out. There's not enough time. Right? That haste. Let that out of your system and make some space. Become very heavy in the hips. Loosening the jaw, you can turn your chin. So we're building the base of this twist. Go ahead, left foot flat. Really letting the right thigh, right hip drop open. especially if you've been driving a long way. And at the end of the day, you feel really tight and exhausted, but you don't know what to do because you're so tight and exhausted you don't want to do yoga. Do this. And then drop your left knee over and draw your heel in. And just know that the posture isn't the yoga. It's the state of mind that you made with it. So I've angled my blanket a little bit so that my left hip is free. Left hand to my right knee, right hand back. Now let your hip come forward. Letting your hip, left side comes up. We turn the navel. And keeping it turned, drop the left hip down. Ha. So lifting up, you turn at the navel. And then you sit the left hip back down, and it's that down that creates the turn. Be gentle, be wise. Jordan Block, do this gently, please. But we hold a tremendous amount in here, in the hips, in the low back. And when you let go, the right shin comes in front of the left. And the left hand comes over the right knee, and the right hand goes back onto the block. And now we turn through the ribs. See if you can feel your way up through the spine. So the left hip and the right hip remain balanced. Turn your chin to the front shoulder. And as you turn your chin to the right, turn your right ribs back. Turning to the front. And turning to the back, so that you are accessing the mid-spine. Not an easy place to change. And then just pause. Coming upright, make sure you're not leaning into your right hand. Good. Through the navel, through the heart. And to go up from the heart into the throat, we extend the left leg straight, the right foot flat, stand the block up behind you, and wrap around. Oh, turning. Stand in your right foot and stand in your left heel, and now turn your chin. And if you choose, a little lift of the chin, that you're coming right up through the chest, through the upper back, through the neck. And then you pause, sitting upright, heart is high. Rinsing the chin to the right, all the way through the left side of the neck. And then extending, turn center and bring your right leg out straight and your left heel in, and my navel is turned to the right. All the connective tissue right now is turned to the right, which is how we want it, so that you can put your fingertips down and fold. Rising. And folding. That these are the last of our physical postures. So anything that's still sticky, press into your heels. Lengthen through your spine, walk your left hand further forward. And imagine the navel turning to the right, the left heel coming into the right thigh, the legs in tree, the spine so long. Everything you've done has gotten you right to this moment. That this is a really beautiful, stabilizing posture. And you bring that with you as you cross your legs, sit up tall, you're seated on the edge of your blanket. If you're done and your preference is to sit in meditation, awesome. If you prefer to lie back into Shavasana, awesome. We are going to take our hands wide, fold your fingers in, peel your palms open, thumbs apart, arms out to 60 degrees. So when we start, we can be a little roundy. And as you go here, I want you to imagine bringing your shoulder blades towards your spine, your chest broad, sitting evenly in your seat. Open your mouth with a ha. Right from the abdomen, this pump like a bellows. Once you've found it, close your mouth, come out the nose, and be light with it, be delicate. Sitting tall, give yourself a little wriggle. Anywhere it's sticky, armpits, shoulders, jaw, feel that you can turn your chin. You can bend and straighten your elbows. All of it will lift and open under the jaw, into the fingers. Close your eyes 30 seconds right here. A little quicker. Five, 4, 3, 2. Hook your thumbs, lift your chin, inhale, open your fingers, 3 more sips. Heart up, chin in, reach, a little wriggle. Now rise from the seat to the navel, from the navel to the heart to the throat to the head. And lift your chin and widen out. Sitting tall. The uncertainty, the certainty, it's all mixed together. I am this. This is what we know. This is our core belief. This is what holds us all the way through. Bring your hands wide. Thumb and first fingertips touch. Turn your palms to face you. Nice steady seat. Just turn a little left and a little right. So all those twists we just did, now we just let them loose. Start small. Start at the navel. Start at the seat. And let your seat turn you. Inhale left, exhale right. And the same way we made our way up through the spine in those final seated twists, from the base, make your way, turn at the navel. And as you turn at the navel, let the ribs turn more freely. Let the chin turn more freely. And we're going to be here 1 minute. So you, rather than turning from the upper back, turn from the waist, turn from the navel, and the upper back follows, the chin follows. You are supple and bright. Make it smaller if it needs to be. Anchor into the seat. Use what we made. Loosen it. Loosen it, less arduous. Good. A little looser through the upper back, right to the fingers. 5, 4, 3, 2. Good. Hands up high. Inhale, lift up. Sip. Heart up, chin in. Catch it all. Lift the pelvic floor. Your energy up, 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 chin up, breath out, arms down. And just be still. Let it through. Let it not be a temporary state, but really starting to know this is what's inside of you all the time. I am light. There is a higher aspect to who I am. Let your legs out, shake out your feet so that your seat doesn't get tight. Recross. Right? Last place, the hands go wide. And then they bring together and they open and palms to touch. So inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. In, X, in, X, in, X, in. Use the nose. Now you find a pace that you can maintain, but you've built the navel with those twists. So keep the navel nice and steady to the spine. Keep the seat nice and steady. And so that the more that you stabilize the base, the more effortless the upper body. From the navel to the ground, that lower sense of ourselves, our practical simple, schedule, task-based selves. And here, turn on the light. And if you like, play with it, quicken it. And the quickening is a loosening. It's not a forcing. Hint of a smile. See how it changes. And so there's a little plateau, and the novelty wears off and the effort shows up. I want you to soften your face, soften your mouth corners, soften your shoulders, 20 seconds. That you could simply be falling up. That the quality of effort that's necessary here is an effort of receiving. That you are supported, that there is light. Keep softening, keep going through it. For 10 and 9. Where are you holding? Where are you working? How can you set that down and instead rest? Find the navel. That holds you. Arms are free. For 2. For 1. Hands up high. Chin up. Inhale. Hold that. Draw your attention up your body. Navel, heart, throat, head. Chin up. Breath out. Hands down. Notice the shoulders, the throat, the head, the face, the hands. And the first 2 fingers of your left hand go to the radial pulse on your right, the wrist pulse. If you can't find that, you have one in the inner thigh. If you can't find that, you have one just under the corner of your right jaw. Make contact with your pulse. And now use your breathing to slow your heart. Softening the shoulders, the face. Feel your heart rate become steady because you chose to slow it. There is certainty in your body. Just a little more. Soften and open the inner body just a little more. And this really drops the heart. No tension, no stress, no strain. The teachings for this Kriya keep us here for 5 minutes. If you choose, stay. If you choose, unfold to Shavasana, or the teachings have no Shavasana after this Kriya. And so if you're done, be done. If you're seated, stay seated. If you want to rest the next 3-4 minutes, lie back. Make the choice that serves how you want to feel. Set yourself up. If you're finished, you bring your palms together to the thumbs, to the forehead center. Acknowledging the higher aspect of yourself. Grateful for the certainty of our bodies, even as they change or age, as they are ill or healing. Our temporary, beautiful home. And there is more. As you rest or as you sit or as you conclude, honor what is more in who you are. Feel the levity, feel the light. Deepening your breathing. You walk your feet in. And bring your hands to your shins. Bring your knees to your chest and a little bit side to side. Extend your left leg and bend your right knee, building tree on your back. So left leg long, right knee bent, right hand on right thigh, left hand overhead. You have channels, you have a flow. Feel how this opens and anchors you. Wherever it feels like it wants just a little more space, let it fidget, let it move, but just trust that this shape elevates us to conclude. And then change, bringing both knees to chest. Changing sides, extending the right leg, bending the left knee, left foot to your right inner calf or thigh, left hand to left thigh, right hand overhead. Softening the length of your right side body from heel to hand. Rolling the left knee, opening, expanding the pelvis. May we both certain and uncertain in this day. Knees to the chest. Rolling your way, finding your cross-legged seat, just sweeping up and open. And as you find center, you just bring it down the middle. And two more of that quiet, that personal. And the last time, we bring the palms together and the thumbs to the forehead, center in your mind this quality of shanti, 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 the peace of mind that is not a low body experience. This is a peace that we share. And from here I say namaste.
Namaste.
Have a great Saturday. So we moved from the lower body experience to the upper, which is exactly what we've been doing through this year of you. Moving through the spine, through the frequency. Our low body is meat and bones, and it's solid. And so the frequency that can move through it is slow. As we move into the navel, into the abdomen, it's watery. It's digestive, it's full of fluids. And so the frequency can move more quickly. In the middle of the body, the air and the liquid meet in a sense of steam, a sense of power, like if you think of a locomotive. And as we come up higher into the breath and the way sound can move through air and the way that it has a higher, quicker frequency, even here through the throat. And we come up into the mind, starting tomorrow, a new sequence for Ashna. And it's remembering that the lower body can hold our past, but the upper body is really made for what's coming. It's made to be very adaptable. It's made to shift and change, and yet we tend to use the energy of our upper body, our upper mind, to make a choice and see it through. That's the work of the lower body. And so just notice, where are you putting your attention at any given time, and know that this is a space to be in wonder and awe. And that's where we're headed. Here we go. Tomorrow at 8, I will be here for Kundalini, or just come back for Saturday.